Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished. Manchester United 4, West Ham United 1 in the EFL Quarter Final Cup at Old Trafford. Now, normally if you watch us regularly, we know we like to go through the goals and do the analysis at the end. I'm going to do differently tonight. I think we've all got a few things we need to get off our chest. So let's start in reverse order. We're not going to go through the goals in too much detail. But Scott, how are you feeling right now?
Not too bad. As I told you on the last one, I wanted the league. The 1-1 did me. It would have been nice to get through, but we were just outplayed.
Charlie, what about yourself?
I was like Scott. I said I'd concentrate on the league, but I'm really disappointed, massively so. We spoke during the week, and I was talking about how I just want to see a good performance more than I want to see a result, and that was horrendous. We were played, outclassed. I'm not entirely certain our defence even exists or whether it was made up. We were just terrible. We were awful.
I'm actually pissed off. That was shocking out there. I'm not seeing such a couldn't give a crap attitude from West Ham, but what seems like a long time. But I almost remember us talking like this a couple of times last season. Like the players just didn't care. But tonight was a disgrace. I thought it was Martial scored 2, Ibrahimovic scored 2, and the West Ham players might have just given 2 to the West Ham fans that travelled up there. The West Ham fans were fantastic tonight. About that 11 players that started the game, maybe 2 players I'd say actually cared, actually gave a damn. And I feel sorry for Noble because he's been left out, maybe rightly so, rested, whatever you want to call it. He's sitting there. It's probably his dream, absolute dream, to take West Ham to Wembley, etc. He's sitting on the bench watching his teammates just not give a... They just didn't even give a toss out in that pitch. We did... What was it? I wrote it down. We did 9 tackles in 19 minutes. Man, you had the ball for 60% possession or something. Yeah, we could only make 9 challenges. That's 1 tackle every 10 minutes. How can you justify making just 1 challenge in 10 minutes throughout the team? Your centre backs and centre midfielders should be doing that when you're under the pressure so much as we were. But let's get into this. Let's talk about him straight away. Dimitri Payet. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about him, in case you haven't seen the game, I suppose the first thing was when we scored, Payet shot, De Gea fumbled it, and then you see on the camera, everyone went to celebrate, but Payet just turned around and jogged back to halfway line. But their third goal, the world's most ridiculous clearance or pass, whatever you want to call it by Payet, but he just stands still. He just stands still and lets Man U go past him. The ball was about 5 yards away from him. His man was 5 yards away from him. He just stood still. So, Scott, what are you thinking about Dimitri Payet? Because I know you've always said, you've been on the show for about, since we first started, actually. So, a year and 4 months or so now, you've been on Hammer Chat YouTube channel since we started. And you've always said to me, they have to graft. All I want is to see people graft. He did not graft out there tonight.
He didn't. He's not where he's gone missing. His head goes down, and I don't know what it is. This year he's a completely different player. He isn't trekking back. He isn't doing his job. And what can you say though? What can you say? I think he's totally disillusioned with us.
What about yourself, Charlie? What's your thoughts on Payet?
I mean, that's the way it looks. It looks like he's just completely given up. It looks like he was sold a dream and then it got crushed. And so now whenever he walks out onto the pitch, it looks like he's not... I don't even know how to describe it. Not up for it, not caring. I mean, he was never the most track-backiest of player ever in the world in the first place. But, I mean, like you say, when he lost that ball, he didn't even stand still. He just started walking back up the pitch. Like, it almost as if it was like a given what was about to happen. It was like, okay, fine, whatever. And then just walked away. And it was like from him the entire game. And it's really difficult to watch because he's so good technically on the ball that he should be, like when you saw Di Canio, right? Di Canio was technically great and had the emotion. So when he was on, he was fired, he was going full force, there was cylinders, everyone was going mental for it. But when Payet is, take the ball past 2 or 3 players, but this season there's something missing from him and it affects everyone. Because everyone's looking at him as the guy, and they're looking at the guy, and he's just like wandering about as if he couldn't care less. And it's horrendous to watch. Horrendous to watch.
Scott,
I think it is horrendous to watch, and I don't like seeing it. Like Gio was saying, I expect graft. I'll tell you what's missing. You mentioned it, the dream. I think he got told, like we all did, we're getting these special players and we've got this TV money, we're getting these special players and we're going to put them around you. That's what he got told, I reckon, to keep him there. And he's looking around and he's thinking, who's special here? What's happening here? Because his mistakes happen when he tries to take the game to people. And he can't do it on his own. You know, he's playing balls sometimes where players should be, and they're just not there. And like I said, he must be totally and utterly demoralised.
Yeah, I mean, there's no taking away from his world class, etc. And I don't even expect him to trap back. I don't want him to see him making 50-yard runs from attack to defence. But tonight, it was almost like a slap in the face a little bit just to certain people. Maybe Bilic, his teammates or whatever. He literally stood still. He was in line with the 18-yarder or whatever. He literally just stood there, just watched the guy go past him. It was him that gave the ball away. You know, I wouldn't say I could justify it, but I could half understand if Masuaku had done that pass and Payet was looking at him as if he's going, what the hell are you doing? I'm not getting after that. It was your mistake, by the way. But he caused it. He caused it and then stood there and didn't do anything to rectify it. And it's summed up. I think that one moment almost summed up the performance tonight. But I don't know if it comes from Bilic, because Bilic in the press conference said Arsenal is more important. You shouldn't be saying that. I don't think the manager should be saying that. The manager should be saying, I'm not thinking about Saturday yet. We've got a game at Old Trafford on Wednesday. We're going to go out. We're going to win that. The fans deserve a cup. We're going to do our utmost to get the cup. We're going to do our utmost to get into the semi-final. Could you imagine if we were in the semi-final tonight? The Arsenal game would have took care of itself. The place would have been buzzing. It would have been bouncing. West Ham were in a semi-final, 180 minutes from a cup final. But we're not there because the players just did not turn up tonight. There's one or two players I think did, and we'll get on to them. But let's go through the game. I mean, Charlie, it took 93 seconds or something for Manchester United to score.
That's opposite of the last time. They came out of the gates, they got the goal, and it was at that point I was looking at it and going, that's the Mkhitaryan that I expected to show up this season. That's the Mkhitaryan I thought United were signing. The pass from Rooney, Reed got caught really, really hard on the pitch. Our defence consistently got caught so far on the pitch, it was insane. But Reed was basically hugging Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney played one very simple reverse pass. Mkhitaryan's through, great back heel, and then Zlatan with a great finish. It's a really good goal. I'm not going to take that away from them. But Reed got completely caught out for it. Completely and utterly. He was so far up that when Rooney played the ball through, all of a sudden, both the other centre-backs, there's a massive space in between. They have to close, and then Zlatan just moves, and it was over. It was done. It was so... When you've got a team full of... It's so simple to do that. The movement was there, the ball was there, and our defence got completely and utterly caught out.
I think you have to give a little bit of credit to Man U there. It was a touch of world class about that goal. And those three players in particular, I thought were world class tonight. But we just made it a little bit too easy, and I think it almost set the tone for the rest of the game. Scott, let's talk about what happened after the goal. Our keeper's tackle on Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic, for you who haven't seen the game, was put one-on-one. He shrugged Antonio off, slotted with his past Adrian, and Adrian appeared to stud him in the kneecap.
I don't think there was any appear. I think it was deliberate. Yeah, it's not something I want to see. It was terrible. You saw the gash on his knee. He will bang out of order with it.
It's disgusting. It's the last thing you want to see at West Ham. And if that happened to one of our strikers, we'd be going mental about it. We'd go absolutely livid. I think he can expect a ban, actually, for that kind of thing. But we scored, Charlie, against the run of play. Half an hour gone or whatever. Ashley Fletcher, Payet shot, De Gea spilled it, Fletcher knocked it in. West Ham didn't have a striker score since May. And in the last two games, at Old Trafford of all places, we've had two strikers score the last two goals.
Against the run of play is the way to describe it. We looked utterly that moment. And then all of a sudden, Payet found some space. He thanks to Aaron Cresswell, basically. But De Gea, for some reason, can't catch it. It bobbles. And Ashley Fletcher does exactly what you want a striker to do. He just followed through. That's it. so many times we've seen the ball happen and strikers just stand still and watch it and go, oh, we missed the shot. He just kept going, and you have to make those opportunities for yourself. It's easy to say it was lucky, it was lucky. It's easy to say De Gea should have caught it, he should have caught it. But actually Fletcher made his own luck in that example. He had to follow through, and then he's got the reward for it. He's got the goal, and I'm super happy for him because I wanted him to start, and he's got a goal. And I just hope that, you know, he can continue that now and carry on with maybe a little bit of run of a few games.
Well, it was great play by Obiang in the middle of the pitch. Fantastic footwork in the middle. He struggled, I thought, a wee bit, Obiang, overall, but that was great play. Found Payet. Fantastic run by Creswell. There's someone who hasn't had any praise so far for the goal is Fernandes. Fernandes makes this run right across the face of Payet. And as soon as Payet hits it, Fernandes is practically in between Payet and De Gea, and I think that's why De Gea has completely fumbled it. If you watch the replay, Fernandes just makes a run right across the face of the goal, and I think it just completely skew-whisked De Gea. I think he sees it late, actually. But Fletcher, what do you make of Fletcher, Scott? Were you impressed with him tonight?
Yeah, I was a bit scared for him, to tell you the truth. It's a big match for a young lad. I'd like to see him more in the side so his confidence comes up. But he did what strikers need to do. If you've not got any luck and things aren't going your way, just get into the box. That's all you need to do. Something will come your way eventually, and that's what he did. And he was in the right place at the right time. He put himself about a bit, and you know, what was the options tonight for a striker? Do you know what I mean? He got in the side. He did what he had to do. He got his goal, and I like him. Just needs to be in them easier games, though. You know, edge him in a little bit.
Well, it's not going to get any easier for him because his next game's against Arsenal at home. It's straight after half-time, though, pretty much straight after half-time. Well, Creswell went off injured, so that's a bit of a worry. It did look quite bad, that one, as well. Masuaku came on. Strangely enough, out the 9 tackles, I think he made 3 of them. He made literally a third of the tackles on his own, and he was only on the pitch for 50 minutes. Says all, really. But 3-1 straight after half-time. Martial, like we've been discussing the goal a little bit in terms of Payet, Scott, but the rest of the defence literally stood still just for the whole of the goal, didn't it? We made them look world class.
Sometimes it's like they don't know each other. Sometimes you play and you'll get a match and they'll play and you think, it's the best defence, or it's unbelievable. And then the game after, it's like they've both just been introduced to each other and they don't know. Nobody talks. You're not getting that communication from the goalkeeper. He doesn't talk that much. And I really don't know what it is, because as individuals, they're good players. Is that coaching, or is it just the pressure of the game? I don't know, Gio.
Do you think it's a style of opposition, Scott? Do you think our defence is more suited to absorbing crosses and people shooting at them, where they're happy to get in front of it and block it, etc., and just hoof it away? But if a team turns up and tries to pass it, they just collapse and they don't know how to do this sort of tactical awareness and getting the passing channels, if you like. If you watch them, they're standing in a line. The 3 of them are standing quite efficiently in a line along the 6-yarder. But no Man U strikers in that 6-yarder. They're all making runs for the pass, and our defence is just static. I just think. Do you think maybe, Scott, or am I looking into it too much, that they struggle with the tactical side, where they have to cut out the passing lane rather than man mark?
Well, that's what I was meaning about the coaching. We have a plan A. We don't have a plan B. They're not able to sort of think on their feet. And like I said, they're professionals. I'm saying it now, and I don't believe that's true. I believe that they can defend. I don't know what it is. They get set up, and that's it. That's their plan. And no matter how the opposition plays, we will play that way. Even if we lose 4-1, we will carry on. Right to the very end, we will carry on with that game plan. It annoys me. Other coaches change it. Why can't we?
It's certainly frustrating because, like you said, these 3 centre-backs have been impressive to me since we've gone to the 3 at the back, and they look utter class sometimes. I think Reed's one of the best centre-backs in the league, but sometimes it just falls apart. Manchester United then made a sub as West Ham brought Zaza on for Dimitri Payet, who left the field without acknowledging the away fans, unfortunately. And then it was 4-1 right at the death, Charlie. It wasn't even an... Do you think, Charlie, I'm not going to put the words in your mouth, I'll ask you a question. Fair result, 4-1?
Yeah. No, I don't. I think that they outclassed us. We've made look like a class centre back pairing. Phil Jones hasn't played so good in his entire life. We didn't deserve anything. We didn't deserve anything at all. I'm glad Ashley Fletcher got his goal, and maybe he deserves it for work rate reasons. But apart from that, I mean, West Ham were not good enough in any area of the pitch. They were basically woeful everywhere.
Why? Why were we woeful everywhere, Charlie?
Because every single player is just out of form. It's really easy. I've said this before, and I don't want to keep harking on it, but it's really easy to point to the summer signings and go, "Oh, Faguli wasn't very good. Oh, Zaza wasn't very good." Yeah, but neither was anyone else. Like, Payet's gone missing. Everyone's gone missing, and like there are a few people who haven't. Fernandez has managed to continue to perform. Obiang has played relatively well. Last couple of games, he's dropped a bit, but he's still. Those three defenders, for example, they can look class one game, and the next game they look like total rubbish. And everyone's like that. And there's no form or consistency to the team whatsoever. And I want to see us change formation, but we don't have a right back. There's just so many random problems that right now at West Ham that it's really difficult to see where the solution's going to come.
Scott, what's your thoughts on the game overall then? Where's it gone wrong? Why have we just got thumped 4-1? Why Wayne Rooney, who's come in for so much criticism this season from all angles, justified or not he has, we've just made him look literally world class. I thought he was fantastic out there tonight. I was honestly looking at him thinking, where have you been this last 2 seasons for club and country? Where have you been? But is he that good, or did we just make him look world class out there?
I think he is a good player. I've said it on one of the other reviews the other week. I think he is a good player. I think he had a fantastic game. I think we made him look a bit better. Through the middle, Carrick and Rooney just ran over us, like railroaded us like we weren't there. I don't know. As you were asking me that, then I was chewing it over. And what went wrong? I don't know. Like you were saying, the manager's already said that he prefers the Arsenal game. You know, so he's put it out there. That as a player, that's in your head. You go out there, it's gone against you. You know, within the first 2 minutes, so you've got to get your head up. But your head's already down, and as the game goes on, we've stopped chasing it. We've almost conceded that we're going to lose the game with the attitude that we're showing on the pitch, and then the manager takes off a player that could make a difference on the day, and puts a player on. He was never, ever in any league going to make a difference. And, the fans, fans travelled up from bloody Essex and all over the place to watch this. And then all of a sudden Zaza comes on. So everything about it was just negative. It was almost like, damn his limitation. I don't want any more players injured. And it just went downhill. There was a negative effect about it. It was just nothing upbeat about that side. And where does it come from, Gio? Where does it come from? I don't know.
Well, to play my own devil's advocate about Bullets saying Saturday's more important, as a footballer, that shouldn't play on your mind. If your manager says in a press conference Saturday's more important, he's almost just doing PR. He's doing what he has to say. He's keeping the media happy. He's keeping his employers, the owners, happy, saying the league's more important, etc. As a footballer, your manager says that. It doesn't mean you go out on the pitch and just not bother your arse to try and win the game. Literally, your manager could say to you, I don't want you to win, but you should still go out there and give 100%. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter it could be almost a flipping friendly. I still expect better attitude than what we're seeing out there tonight. That was shocking. It was just, we barely did any. We couldn't even pass the ball. We couldn't tackle. We didn't want to tackle. We didn't chase the ball. It was almost like I don't know. I just don't think the players wanted out there. I feel really sorry for Martin Noble out there, actually. I think we were missing him. I'll tell you something. I can't even remember a slide tackle we did out there tonight. Martin Noble, at least once, we went through someone. He would have got your standard yellow card, but he would have done something and said, you aren't just going to walk over West Ham United. If we get beat, we're going to get beat fighting, and we ain't just going to stand past and let you pass the ball about. It was just way too easy for Man United tonight. I mean, Antonio, he could be injured, but I'll tell you something, I'm not even convinced he looked injured. To me, he looks like he bailed, I feel like. He was struggling, he was playing crap. And when he got the ball, He was looking up, then he couldn't see anyone. He's surrounded by Man U players. He puts out for a throw-in as if to say, I can't do anything else. The home fans cheered, so then he just sat down. It was almost like, he could be injured. I could be totally wrong. Obviously, I'm not professional. I'm just judging by what I see. It was almost like he was saying, just get me out of here. I've had enough of this crap. I'm not standing on this pitch any longer. I've got no options ahead of me. But Gooley's playing in the position I want to play. Get me off this pitch. Charlie, you're looking like you're wanting to say something before we start wrapping this up.
Yeah, just quickly, mainly on Wayne Rooney and Man United, I think we need to give them credit because Mourinho set them up very, very attacking-wise today. And Rooney was playing just behind Ibra, which seems to be the perfect position for him. He was flanked by Mkhitaryan, who is starting to look like the player we all thought he would be, and Martial, who is just a constant threat. Even if he's not playing well, he can just run directly at you, take it past two people. He's like a constant threat. And so Rooney benefited hugely because Zlatan backs into our defenders, takes the... Then you've got Martial coming from one side, you've got Mkhitaryan from another, these world-class players running at you, and Rooney almost has the time and space to do whatever he wants in the middle of the park. So I think to an extent we have helped him, but I really do think that was set up to be perfect for Wayne Rooney, the way they set up. And I think I don't want to take the credit away from Man United because they did set up correctly. They nailed it from start to finish and they deserve it.
Well, if they're setting up correctly, that's where you've got to then look at Bilic and say, why didn't you change it? Wayne Rooney was influencing that game from the first minute until the last. No one put a tackle in on him. That geezer, as much as I don't like Wayne Rooney, he was in the referee's ear from the word go. The guy got a boot in the face when they were 3-1 up. He was sticking his head in against someone's boot just to win a header in the box. He wasn't going to score from the header. It was on the 6-yarder. But he was getting a boot in his face with studs and everything just to win a header in the box when they're 3-1 up and cruising. That's what we were missing out there. We had shown a little bit of that. We might have got a result. We might be in the semi-final. West Ham fans could be happy, but we're not. We're sitting here questioning why Bilic is doing stuff. We're questioning what Payet's thinking right now because he's throwing a lot of questions at us tonight. I mean, make no mistake, he's world class. He's the best player I've ever seen at West Ham, etc. But tonight, you've got to look at his body language and just think, what? If he didn't want to play, or if he's been told by Bilic not to go out there and get injured, etc., then don't play him. I'd rather you stuck a youngster out there who is going to give 110%, who is going to run at Antonio Valencia, who's not even a right back, who's going to run at him and see what he can do and ask questions of him. It's just... I'm not happy tonight. I feel really pissed off. It's also because we know a lot of people that went up there tonight. They've taken 1-2 days off work, gone all the way up there. They've sang their hearts out for the whole 90 minutes. You can hear them loud and clear. Even 3-1 down there, still singing the home fans, etc. And it's just like, it's almost like those West Ham players out there tonight have just turned around to their way in and given them the fingers and just walked back off the pitch after 90 minutes. It honestly feels like that. But it's, Scott, what's your final thoughts? Is there anyone that's come out with any sort of credit tonight for West Ham for you?
You got Fletcher, he got his goal. Adrian didn't have a brilliant game, but he pulled off a few good saves. One of the things I was going to say to you, Gio, as you were talking, is a bit like deja vu. Last year when we started, I was talking about Sam Allardyce not being able to have a plan B. We're straight back to a manager that appears not to be able to influence the game halfway through it. Like you said, Rooney from the day one that game started was on it, and he was manipulating. He was showing where he was up to. Just being able to change the game. Think, actually, I've got this. I know we haven't got an array of players where you can think, I'm going to take this player off, I'm going to do that, but just some instruction, just to be able to stop certain play and move on. And I'm not as you know, I'm not a massive Noble fan, but I would have liked to see him on there because even though he lacks skill in certain areas, he's got a lot of art, and he wouldn't have allowed all that to happen in the middle of the park. He would have put his body on the line, and that's what I like about Noble, and that's what we lack tonight: players putting the body on the line. Yeah,
I totally agree. Him, Ginger Pelly, Andy Carroll, those type of players would never have taken that out there.
With Andy Carroll, leave it out, yeah.
No, but the point is, them three players would never allow a team to lie down and just get shafted like that. They just wouldn't allow it. Andy Carroll, if he hasn't had the ball for 10 minutes and the goal kick comes, he goes up into a centre back with his elbow. He doesn't get red carded, but he goes up and he makes sure the centre back gets a clatter. If he's not going to win the ball, the centre back gets a clatter. If if there's an opposition stringing a few passes together and it's starting to irritate us, nobody will go in and just trip them up, give away a free kick, break up the play, pick up the ball and start talking to the ref. Don't let them, just break up their manoeuvre, just irritate the opposition. But we didn't do that tonight. We did 9 tackles, 9 bloody tackles. That's all we did. Crying out loud. I would expect individual players to do 9 tackles against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Never mind 9 tackles as a team. That stat is just horrible to look at for me. Charlie, what's your final word on the evening?
I think Bilic is in a ridiculously hard place now. He can keep chopping and changing, and then there's no consistency in the side, and no one knows what to do. Or he can stick to the same formation, and then when we're caught out, we're caught out. I think the biggest problem tonight was our defensive line was so high that they caught us like that, and then that was it. It was over. When players get in behind us, and it's happened consistently now for the last couple of games, if a player gets in behind us, our defence do not know how to deal with it. I just look at them and I don't trust them anymore. And that's a huge problem. I trust Randolph, but I don't trust Adrian. I don't trust the majority of our back three. I trust Winston Reid, but even he got caught out today. Like the same player he did 3 games ago. Everyone at this point is starting to really, really, really struggle. And which players picked out, I don't really look at any of the players and think they played particularly well. I look at it and say, do you know what, this was a horrendous team performance, and every single one of those players should be putting in way more than they are. You know, looking decent for 5-10 minutes is fine and all, but there's another 80 minutes to worry about. And I look at that team, and apart from possibly Ashley Fletcher, who I think yet again our strikers are being completely sold down the river. Adrian's playing long balls to him. He's not going to win headers. He's barely getting the ball at all. It's just ridiculous. It's just a stupid situation. And I honestly, as I just said, I honestly do not see where the solution is anymore. I don't see what next few games to change it up for us. I think that we've just got too many problems, and it's becoming a huge concern.
What I will say about the centre-backs, though, just to defend the centre-backs, I know they didn't play well tonight. Tonight they had too much pressure. There was no protection from the sides, and there was no protection in front of them. Chekiai was playing right back tonight. He was not right centre-back. He was up against Martial. Ogbonna was up against Mkhitaryan more often than not, and Reid was directly against Ibrahimovic. Then they had Bruni lurking about them as well. There was no protection from the sides, and there was no protection from in front of them. Oh, Fernandez, bless him. None of us have even mentioned his name, probably because I'm speaking for myself here. I almost forgot he was on the pitch some of the times. The commentator had said, "Oh, Fernandez is passing." I was like, Jesus, is Fernandez still on the pitch? I've barely seen him. But there was just no protection. We talk about the first goal, Reid had to go out to Rooney. Why is Reid having to go out to Rooney? That's not Reid's man. Reid's got Ibrahimovic. Obiang or Fernandez has got to get Rooney. They have to. They have to get him. But they didn't. And I don't know. I mean, Man U fans will be watching this thinking, hang on, you need to praise Man U a bit. And they were good tonight. But for a team that's drawn their last 4 at home in the league, etc., or something, they were there for the taking. They were there for the taking. We just didn't turn up. Scott, does this put a bit more pressure on Saturday home to Arsenal? If we lose, does that mean that the knives are going to get sharper?
Definitely. Arsenal can play. They lost tonight, but Arsenal's got... The kind of football that Arsenal play will be fast-paced, just like we've had tonight, and they'll just be at us and at us and at us. And hopefully our confidence won't be in our boots, but I bet it is. We're really up against it. And I know you said the other day we're not in a relegation battle. We are in a relegation battle.
I don't think we are. I don't think we're in a relegation battle. I don't. I think there's too many teams that's crappier than us, and I think
those teams, Gio, are scoring. Where's those coming from?
Ask me again. Like I said, on Boxing Day, I might change my mind. Once we played Swansea away, because we've got Hull, Burnley, Swansea, and Leicester in a row. I think that's perfect for us to get points on the board. And there's 8 points. There's 8 points between us and 6th place or something. It's just, we're in a relegation battle. So's 10 other Premier League teams, and that just doesn't happen yet. It could happen, but I think we'll see the league start to split a little bit. I think we'll see Middlesbrough pulled in. I think we'll see Hull sinking to pretty much the bottom of the league. I think Palace are going to start ending up in there as well. I think we'll be okay. I don't see us in a relegation battle yet, but I'm not saying we can't be dragged into one. I'm not saying we won't be in one. Ask me on Boxing Day when we play Swansea away. Charlie, last word, and then we'll have to start wrapping this up. We've been going on for ages.
I've never thought we were in a relegation battle yet. I'm really, really, really worried that we're about to be. I think we're starting to have to maybe come to terms with the fact we are. Like you say, the league is very condensed. One win can shoot us up, but the biggest problem is I just do not see us winning it against any team right now.
Well, we'll be discussing the game against Arsenal. Our preview will be up on. I'll be up late Thursday night or noon on Friday, one of the two. As I said earlier, there was a few of our Hammers Chat people, etc., at the game tonight. Gonzo was there. Gonzo had the camera there. He's done a vlog. I believe he stayed in Manchester tonight, so he's away to try and do the vlog tonight and get it up, but it probably won't be up until midnight, 1 in the morning. But do check out the channel tomorrow, because it will definitely be up tomorrow at some point. So make sure you subscribe. If you're watching this embedded on our website, it's youtube.com/Hammers Chat, and you'll get the vlog, you'll get our preview. We've got another couple of bits and pieces coming. And keep your eyes out for the Arsenal preview, because we've got a few things happening on Saturday before the game, which we'll tell you all about. But I'm slightly calmer. I don't think the 4,500 people that travelled up there are going to be much calmer. But Charlie, thank you. Scott, thank you. I've been Gio. We've been Hammers Chat. Make sure you come onto our forum at hammerschat.com. Give us your thought. Leave your comments below. And we will see you for the Arsenal preview, where we will be discussing, are we in a relegation battle? Who starts? Do we have an injury crisis? Creswell, Antonio went off injured. Do we give Dimitri Payet a lesson and put him on the bench? Who do we bring back in? What do we do with our back three? Do we switch to our back four again? We'll be discussing all that and more. So join us then.